Parramatta, back to the bottom end of the table. Jason Riles is coming in. Two big questions that have come up, and it all involves Captain Clint Gutherson. So, does he be removed as skipper and handed to Mitchell Moses? And does he swap positions? Does Blaise Talangi take over that fullback role and then Gutherson move into the centres?
I think it's a big opportunity for Parramatta at the moment. You've got Jason Riles, incoming, new coach, about to start, or if he hasn't started already. He's got some big decisions to make. We've already heard that, the staff have all been moved on, head of performance, they're all going to change. For me, I think it's going to be a good move if they move Clint Gutherson from captain. Mitchell Moses...
You reckon? Does that not put more pressure on Mitch? Mitch is a great player. He's got origin. He's top of the world right now. He's already proven himself. I sometimes worry about
these great players need challenges.
Yeah,
he just went up.
He's got enough of a challenge on his plate with getting Parramatta off the bottom of the table.
Yeah, he's going to be here at the end of the season. He's obviously injured. The biceps out. For me, the extra added leadership for Mitchell Moses, what he would have learned in camp in these last 6 weeks in the Origin would have been invaluable for him. Being around the players of Dylan Edwards, Isaiah, Jake Trbojevic, he would have got little aspects of their game, whether it's not just playing, but how they handle themselves off the field in certain situations, and he'll bring that back to Parramatta. I know Mitch really well. He's an angry character. He's very confident in himself, and I think he'll really lift the boys up. Sometimes when you get changed, Jimmy, you need a new voice, and Mitchell could be the voice that really galvanises the crew together. There's going to be a lot of changes in the roster, which we're hearing about. There's going to be a little bit of a shake-up. Some players are going to go, some are going to stay. And I reckon Mitch is the man to galvanise those boys together and get Parramatta off the bottom of the ladder and surge into the top 8.
Look, personally, I'm not sure what needs to change with Mitch Moses' game. I'd leave him exactly as he is. But let's have a look at Parramatta's 17. So this is at the moment, moving into next year. Obviously, Lomax will come into the team. But does Gutherson make way for Talangi to take that role as fullback and potentially keep him happier?
You have to, in my instance.
Really?
I reckon.
So you have to.
I'd be putting Talangi there. He's a game breaker, out and out. And we've heard in the past, not just this year, but the previous years, that Gutho was willing to go to centre to bring that X factor out the back. I know Gutho's a lot of energy. He lifts the boys up. But you need a game breaker to be in that top 4, top 8 sort of side.
Do you?
I reckon.
Well, is Dylan Edwards a game breaker?
Yes, he is, Jimmy.
He works hard, man.
Yeah, but he's not just working. He's got speed. He's got power. Quick play the balls. He's got the finesse.
Well, let's have a look at Gutho's stats, because we've crunched the numbers on Gutho at fullback. And for all the criticism of Clint Gutherson and his lack of ability at fullback, look, this is a guy who's playing in one of the bottom-ranked teams. Mitch Moses has been missing for most of the year. A lot of the workload has fell on his shoulders. Well, and look where he ranks in and amongst the fullbacks.
Yeah, I'm not bagging him, Jimmy, but I'm just saying, you need that X factor. Look, if he's... We talk about workhorse...
Do you actually need X factor?
But we talk about workhorse. He's ranked 7th out of 17. If he's a workhorse...
He's playing at a team that's down near the bottom of the ladder.
But then wouldn't he be getting the ball a lot more, trying to impact himself as much as possible?
No, because you're doing so much defence. You're not getting the same opportunities. Dylan Edwards gets more opportunities because his team front-load their effort in defence. He's catching the ball and he fires it back.
And does play 4.
Yeah, and Gutho's been bringing it off his own line the whole time, under pressure. So for me, look, I think when Jason Riles comes in, what he wants is consistency. And with Gutho, that's what you get. Blaise Talangi comes into the fullback. We know he's got X factor, but they've got enough of that in Dylan Brown. They've got enough of that in Mitch Moses. They've got enough of that in forwards and edge forwards in particular that like to offload the football. And with Blaise Talangi, yes, the new young fullbacks are in vogue and they're great and they're exciting to watch. And they do the flash stuff. But Dylan Edwards doesn't. So look at the balance and the makeup of Parramatta's team. I think Blaise Talangi will end up at fullback. But for next season, I think we just need to take a chill pill with him and just not expect too much, because there's going to be so much expectation on this young man's shoulders. And I don't think it's going to suit Parramatta with where they're at and where they're aiming to be. So as Riles puts the building blocks in place to get Parramatta off the bottom of the table, I don't think having inconsistent performance from a young fullback that likes to create things or has that X factor that we keep hearing so much about versus Gutherson being there and just being consistent, hard-working. The team changed their tactics a little bit and their positions in games, and Gutherson starts to play better and his numbers go even higher.
See, the thing is, you got to depend on what sort of style Riles wants when he comes in as well. We don't know. We've never seen him head coach. But back to your point on Gutho, look, you can tell he's playing busted at the moment. He needs a rest. He needs a rest.
He's doing those numbers playing busted,
But there's also opportunities when they're out the back like I've watched them a couple of times. If you've got someone that's probably just a little bit quicker, at the moment, for me, Gutho's one step behind and just misses that fine-tuning of getting a Parramatta probably a couple extra tries a game, which could bring them back in. And then defensively, they've got pressure from the scoreboard they can work off. But I know what you say. Gutherson, yeah, he's the energy man. He does a lot of stuff for Parramatta.
He's the heartbeat of that team.
He is the heartbeat, but why can't he be the heartbeat at the centre?
I think he'd be wasted, mate.
No, I don't
know what he'd do in the centres.
I think defensively he'll do a good job. And look at him at the moment. He's playing busted. He's not going to be doing 20 to carries a game, and it's going to really help him long-term longevity. They've still got another year of him at Parramatta. I reckon it'll really help, and he can help Blaze Tuilagi. There can be times where they switch in games and go back to fullback, but he could be a great mentor for Blaze, and that's what he's been doing. As I said, the last 18 months, he's really spoke about we need an X factor out the back. It's come from his mouth, Jimmy. They need that person that can break a game open.
Yeah, well, Woodsy, look, one team that will be looking to break games open against the top two of Penrith and the Melbourne Storm is the Sydney Roosters. This record against current top 8 teams, 1-8, and since 2020, the record of 1 win in 20 appearances against the Penrith Panthers and the Melbourne Storm. What do you make of this? Because the stats, they paint a picture, they don't tell you the whole truth, but that's surely alarming for Trent Robinson and the Sydney Roosters.
This is scary for Robbo. He's a great coach. He's obviously won 3 competitions in his time. But at the moment, you look at that record against Panthers and Storm since 2021 out of 20 wins. That's unbelievable. And, I watched them on the weekend. Look, I honestly thought the Roosters would win in Melbourne and win well. There's no assault for Solomona. Christian Welsh got ruled out late as well. And then no Munster. I just thought that was the game for the Roosters to get their season on the track, to cement themselves in the top 4. But then you watch Melbourne come out. The way that they played was unbelievable. They looked like they were in a different gear to the Roosters. Admittedly, the Roosters had a few players backing up after Origin. But you know what it's like, Jimmy? You've been in these situations before. When there's a little hoodoo over your head, you try not to think about it, but it's always there. You get yourself behind on the scoreboard and you go, what are we doing wrong, boys? We're in this same situation again. It's not till they'll be able to get in front and then hold that lead. They need to win, and then they need to win against one of these top 2 sides, which they're not going to play until the semi-final time.